Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just fidgeting.
What do you think you're doing?
Can I take it with me? I'll put it there.
Okay.
Fire Freddy. David Bowie, how do we look at him?
Yes.
I look at him like this.
You are such an icon in the mainstream, but at the same time, you keep this alternative soul or this outsider artist inside of you. Do you agree?
Yes, I think probably 'cause my natural choice of music has always been something that's not been in the mainstream. I mean, the kinds of music that I like have always been the kinds of musics that are not necessarily on a top 40 or something like that.
And how did you end up being such a pop star?
Oh, I don't know.
Amazing.
Yes, I know. It is rather in that way that I was very lucky. I think because I never really worked to a mainstream kind of audience, so it's been very satisfying that a lot of people who wouldn't normally buy maybe more alternative kinds of things have kind of gone along with me and listened to my stuff and bought the albums and gone to the shows.
Have you ever asked yourself, why do I do this for?
No.
Never.
Never. No. Unquestioning.
Why do you do this for?
Stupidity. It's the idiocy of enjoying yourself.
But you do so much stuff. You do several things. You are
So therefore, maybe there's too many things for me to question. So I never settle on a question.
You say you don't want to please the audience, or you don't want to do what they expect.
It's fabulous if the audience really like what we're doing. I mean, that's really rewarding, and it's a wonderful feeling. But I don't make many compromises in what I do to please, be an audience pleaser that way. You know, I don't want to do that.
At the same time, doing this, you are taking risks.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean, there's a much easier route, and that is to just supply what you believe the audience wants, which is songs and all that they've grown up on or that they know. But that's another way of working, and it's just not the way that I work. Personal success is writing music that I feel is valuable and good and has a certain integrity to it. For me, that's a success. You know, success at any other level, a success in the eyes of a public is a different kind of need, and I don't have that need. I don't need people to love me anonymously. I have enough love around me with family and my own friends that I don't look for it in a faceless crowd. I'm lucky not to have that addiction.
So, if you don't have the need to be accepted anymore...
Love me, please love me.
If you don't feel this need, but of course you used to feel this, because this is such a teenager thing that we have, you know, inside of our souls.
I think when I was a teenager, I wanted people to be scared of me.
That's okay.
Which, you know, that's a kind of a love.
Sure. Where do you get your motivation from?
I think I maintain a healthy curiosity about the society I live in and generally where I live and the people who are there. So I think that any day-to-day life is really my motivation. You know, there's enough things to write about. I tend to find. How
do you avoid repeating yourself?
I probably do repeat myself. But I tend to consistently revamp pieces of my musical past, bits that I like. I see myself as an endless supply of material. There are so many things that I've done in the past that I really quite like. I like the majority of the things that I've written, and I like to go back to them and find pieces of them and change the context of them for what I'm doing now.
But you don't like to play the oldies, for instance?
Some of them that I do, yeah. I think probably what I did need to do was stop doing it in 1990, which I did. I stopped playing them completely. And now it's been 7 years since I've been doing that. I'm finding there are certain songs that I can go back to, and I don't feel... We feel like strangers again, which is a good thing. because when you're too familiar with a song, you're not thinking about it when you're singing it. So it's very good to kind of distance yourself a bit every now and again. And I tend to go back to songs that maybe I've never played before. So the songs that we're doing on this show, there are quite a few things that come from maybe 20, 25 years ago that I haven't played for even 25 years. So that's a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing also, of course, how many characters you've created. You know, so many personas you have, so many personas, faces, characters.
Well, not so much as the stage performer these days. I haven't really worked in character since the late 70s, frankly. But I like writing character. This thing that I did a couple of years ago called Outside had about 7 different characters on it. And I guess, do you know the American Robert Wilson, the stage
sure, Bob Wilson,
director?
The theater.
We're working together at the moment. We were
I
commissioned.
read some.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We were commissioned by the... Can I have a cigarette?
Sure.
Anyhow, is it? It's okay on
of course.
South American television, is it?
Don't worry about. But besides,
Let me finish.
Yeah, sure.
No,
okay.
we don't
No,
have to.
but because I'm not
You
talking
have
about
lots of time.
characters
You
in
have lots of
theaters.
time.
We
You have
don't.
lots of time. Well, that's
Just-
what I'm saying.
oh,
That's where
okay.
they seem to be going. The ones that I manufactured for rock, I rather am, if I'm going to work with them again, it will be in a theatrical way. And this piece that Robert Wilson and I are doing, based on Outside, is for the Salzburg Festival in year 2000. And I probably will have all of those characters on the stage.
But I'm talking about characters also in your music, you know, in your shows. You invent several faces, outlooks, you know, looks, outfits, looks.
But not now.
Not now, but
Then.
this image is so strong, you know. It's not something that goes like, forget it, you know.
Now I just sort of, you know, interpret songs, but not necessarily in character. But if it's a happy song, no, I'm not playing characters. I still believe very much in a sound and a vision at the same time.
Okay, let's say you don't play characters, but you transform yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm
You
an
know?
interpretive performer.
You put a style
Yes,
there.
yes.
And this style is a creation. How
Yeah,
do you
it is.
create this? This is
Probably because so much of what I did when I was a kid was with theatre in some way. That if you pay a few dollars to go and see a show, you really should feel as though there was something, that the environment was changed for you, that you had an experience of some kind.
You didn't light up your cigarette. You feel guilty
It's
to light it up.
No,
huh?
not at all. Not at all. Yes, I don't want to make you ill.
Don't care. You don't care about me. Come on.
I care. of
About
course.
my health.
I care.
If I die, who cares?
It's for true, I care. I really care, okay.
But listen.
I only care a little bit.
Okay. And I'm curious about this creation. You know, because I said, does he do this by himself in his room and say, I'm gonna paint my hair orange, I'm gonna do this, you know? Or you go with an entourage, you rely on your hairdresser, or you know, whatever.
I think
or
what
you
you
do
do-
your,
well, what
your
I
own
do-
creation.
I don't know what anybody else does, but oh yeah, no, whatever I do for stage, I do it. But what I tend to do is look through the kinds of songs we'll be doing for the show, and then feel out overall what that atmosphere tends to represent to me, and then I dress that atmosphere. Generally, I'm pretty much director and producer and writer and sort of, you know,
You
but
control
like a
a little bit
one-man kind of
everything.
thing. Technically, in the show business industry, is called as being. I sew the clothes, of course, you know. I do cut out all the clothes myself, and I have it's an old-fashioned sewing machine, so I can't use the new ones. It's one with a tread on, and I sit there most evenings
Oh yeah, like an old.
sewing the clothes for my lead guitar player, and it's tiring work, but somebody has to do it. When I was a young man,
You were like.
they hadn't invented the sewing machine, yet, so
boy.
I had to sit in a corner with waxed thread on a
In
very
front
long
of the
needles.
fireplace, or
No,
you
for
didn't
we-
have a
so
fi-
poor.
Oh, boy.
We didn't have a fireplace.
This is such a sad story.
I just merely had a penthouse with no fireplace. It was poverty.
Oh.
People these days, you tell people that they don't realise such poverty. It's
Like
quite
you
nice,
sell
isn't it?
matches also? You go there?
Just to sell matches, to buy the material so that I could sew it. I used to have to stand on the corner of Chicago, Windy City, on the corner, huge tray, which with my frail little shoulders I could hardly support, full thousands and thousands of boxes for matches.
what image do you think would be faithful to you?
Absolutely no idea.
Is there any way that you would like to be seen?
No,
No.
no. Make
No.
of me what you will. It doesn't bother me because it's not really
Even
part
if
of my
is there
life.
any misconcept about
Doesn't
you,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
No,
You
because
don't
I
care
have-
about control your image.
I have a great environment. I have a wonderful family and set of friends, and I don't need much else.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else is so temporary and ephemeral and not real. So it doesn't matter.
You fulfill, I think, all the dreams someone can have. Is there anything that you still want to?
But you know, I think those dreams. That's a little bit of the champagne lifestyle and caviar dream type. You know what I mean? That the fame thing and
I know, but the media
and-
works with this.
I know, yeah, well, fuck the media. They're always wrong. I think the very important thing is the only things that are important for me are my immediate environment, my immediate family, my immediate friends, and that if I have any ambitions, they're within that one tiny little framework.
Moment oriented.
It doesn't matter how much fame one gets or how much one is lauded or people go on and write and take photographs and all those things. None of those things are achieving anything. The only way to achieve something is to achieve it in that one very small framework, one's immediate spiritual and emotional environment.
We are
There's
almost.
nothing more important. A lot of it in my early years, and I think I probably came out of it having learnt a lot of lessons. And I think it was very important for me to know that if I wanted to continue as an artist and as a functioning, intelligent artist, that I really had to change a lot of what my environment was, how I related to that environment, and in fact find a set of values that I could live with comfortably and feel that I was retaining my integrity.
So do you think the values for you are the family, love?
My values? I think it has an awful lot to do with trying to be true within one's relationships with the people closest to one. Yes. I think that's probably the most important thing, really.
Because, you know, for
But
some...
you know, maybe I'm wrong. Oh.
As everybody remembers, you know, you are the first one to show this androgynous look, which was, at the time, was so unusual. Nobody had seen this before. Where do you get these things?
Well, having a kind of, I get my interests aren't necessarily always focused. I like tends to come out of the other arts, and painting, sculpture, and theatre. It just doesn't end. I mean, it's sort of, you know, I like looking at the ways that we express ourselves as a society, and I guess all those things go into my work. So it's not really. I don't come from this kind of homogeneous place where it all refers back to rock and roll again. Rock and roll is merely the means that I use to express myself as an.
Let's talk about your several talents. Okay, painter, sculptor, dancer, actor, and you're drawn in so many directions. How can you keep, you know, you said there's a job to keep the balance among everything. How do you do that? How do you manage this?
No, I don't really find it a problem because I only do the things that I really want to do. At the moment, the tour really is everything that I have dreamt of doing, working in this way, that I'm just playing material that I like. But I'll stop this probably around November, and then I have to finish off a show that I started for Milan, where I'm showing the Marconi Gallery.
Do you have
I get up
a
and I
straight
do it.
schedule?
It's very easy, you know, I love my work, I just get up and I do it. There's no mystery about it whatsoever.
What is the daily routine when you're not on tour?
I don't have a routine. Only routine things, maybe I get up around 6, 7 in the morning.
Very
And
early,
that's,
early
yeah,
bird.
Very, very early. Yeah, don't drink, don't smoke. Don't, what else don't I do?
Don't do drugs?
Don't play American football. No, absolutely don't do drugs.
To keep your sanity.
I
That's the
don't-
question.
I
Let's
don't think- well, I-
or you don't.
No,
just
no, I'm very protective of my private life, and I've been, I think, overall pretty successful about keeping it private. I think that probably keeps you as sane as anything else. I don't put myself in very many public situations, so I don't have any real pressures. The only time that really I'm seen is when I'm working, and that's the way I like it. And it's been like that for me for 30 years. I don't see any reason why I should change now. I really think
you did
it's
a
an
wonderful.
incredibly complex
You did a
situation.
wonderful Andy Warhol, and they
Thank you.
said wonderful one, and they said.
Now there was
he
someone
said-
with communication
Yeah, and he
problems.
said everybody's gonna be famous for 15 famous minutes.
Yes. Well, I don't feel that we have to make that come true. I don't think that has to be sort of a self-prophecy at all. I think none of us should be famous at all.
It's not-
Probably
it's
is
not
the,
important,
is the reality
right?
of the situation.
And nowadays, what's the aim? What is the challenge? Because you got everything.
I think enjoying the day as it comes along. I think if I have a good time every 24 hours that I wake up, that's really reward enough, you know. I make a point to really only work on things and the kinds of shows that I do and the kind of music that I make that entirely satisfies me. And I tend, the older I get, to not work to an audience more and more. I tend to work to just my own particular standards. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm very happy about it.
Do you believe that you help to free people?
No, not at all. It's just myself, purely selfish motivations for working. I really...
But at least you free yourself.
I think, yes, I think I've probably helped myself have a complete understanding that I understand nothing, which is a kind of a freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you try to understand yourself all the time? Are you this guy in search?
I don't think I'm insane enough anymore to believe that there's an answer to anything. But I quite enjoy just the intellectual problems of having the questions.
Do you think you are more rational or more emotional approach to things?
I think I'm fairly balanced. I'm a buoyant personality. I stay pretty, not euphoric, I would say, but fairly optimistic most of the time. I enjoy life and I don't vacillate backwards and forwards terribly. I don't get manic depressed or anything. I'm fairly like that.
And talking about relationship, you know, you have this, you are now so married, very married, right?
Very married, yeah.
Very married.
Extremely married.
Extremely married.
Unbelievably married.
Yeah, and she's so beautiful, by
She's
the way.
so beautiful.
And how has marriage changed you?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No, it's just merely just improve the quality of my life beyond comprehension. But I'm very much the same person.
Because, you know, you had a time that you were, you make sexual statements saying, oh, I'm bisexual, I believe in this, I believe in...
Trisexual, actually.
Trisexual, which means I try everything. What attracts you to a woman? You know?
Oh, God, it's something I wouldn't dream of trying to analyse on a television. But I'm not secretive, but I'm private.
I understand.
Especially about my personal family relationship. That's why I've been able to keep my life private.
What kind of husband you are? The best.
Oh, just a husband.
A husband.
A husband. It's, as the second in a relationship, I try and do the best that I can.
Yeah, okay. But nowadays, you know, every woman loves you. I mean, you are... when I said...
Right, okay.
You are this
I
big...
see.
You don't believe me?
No,
No?
not even remotely.
Nowadays, are you a guy, you know, very faithful, away from temptation?
Oh, of course, I wouldn't dream of getting married unless I was going to be faithful.
Is there anything in your personality that you would like to change?
No.
No. You're happy, no complaints.
No, I'm not a changer kind of person. I take things as they come and bullshit. I just do the work of any artist. An artist is always trying to express himself in the adequate way that suits the context of how and when he lives.
What is your idea of happiness?
Probably to go through an entire day and feel good and responsible about all my actions. I think if I can close the end of the day and put my head on the pillow and think, I did as good a job as possible as a human being today, then I feel good about life. And that's a kind of a happiness, I think.
Do you work your spiritual side?
Yes.
Are you a religious person?
I don't think I'm particularly religious, but I certainly have a very strong spiritual life. That's hard to explain, but it has a certain something to do with improving the quality, believing that if one improves the quality of life for oneself and the people around one, that naturally has repercussions in one's spiritual life. I guess it's, if anything, it has more to do with maybe a Buddhistic way of thinking than possibly a Christian way.
Getting to the next millennium, which everything seems so fragmented, you know, and how do you see the next decade? And how do you see yourself?
I mean, I'm quite prepared to only look as far as the next couple of weeks for what I actually have to do. I hate to have to try and project into the future what I might or might not be doing, because it invariably changes. And
Yeah.
it's not what but life is like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is no way that we can project. I think projecting into the future and trying to forecast a series of situations for either ourselves or for humanity is a kind of an avenue to madness. It's an insane thing to try and...
Do you think a pop star can last forever?
Who cares?
You don't.
No, not even... No.
So, David, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It was very nice meeting you, and wonderful.
Well, I sincerely hope that I come down to South America very shortly.
That would be great.
Get to show you our show.
That's wonderful. Nice to meet you.